we have been spending a lot of time talking with operators around the world on securing 5G networks and telco cloud in general. So there are in 5G, even that it's, I think, the most secure technology we had on telecommunications for a while. There are some changes technology-wise, and when there are some changes in technology, hackers can actually exploit new attack vectors. So I would say we need to be vigilant to those. And on those, I would say the service-based architecture, it's something that brings additional complexity. So we can instantiate different network functions several times. So that's a new concept. There is no physical machine and that's the only machine there anymore. You can have actually these machines replicated, these network functions replicated as much as you need. We have APIs exposed. That's a natural value proposition from 5G. So all the slicing and APIs are becoming and serving different enterprise verticals, and of course we need to be vigilant to that. There are also other technology changes. For example, access tokens are used to authenticate in between different network functions instead of credentials, so credentials are not used anymore. We have multiple vendor applications running closer to the edge. Of course, we are sharing computing power, so lateral movements in between different slices are things that we need to be vigilant of. Once we acknowledge, let's say, the areas that we need to be vigilant of, we need basically to ensure a zero trust architecture. So the network needs to be isolated. So we need to isolate the slices. We need to ensure zero trust policy in what regards even the employees inside the operator. So we need to have access monitoring to entities and machines. We need to be able to visualize advanced threats. So the threats that can happen on this environment are not necessarily only happening in one side of the network. So to detect threats that are multi-stage and that come from different places, we need to be able to monitor, for example, the Kubernetes infrastructure, while we monitor as well the network functions, while we monitor the endpoints, and then be able to correlate this information to detect those advanced threats. And of course, given the size of the network, so we are now talking about networks that can have different instances to serve different slices. We need to have visibility on the data and then have capacity to detect those threats. And they are not always possible to detect using the traditional rules. So we also need to rely on machine learning models to, let's say, find the normality and then detect the outliers, which might be the attacks. Nokia, we are positioned as experts and specialists on security, both for public and private networks. So that's our specialty. We have, first of all, a big focus on access management. So we have many operators around the world that access their networks using our telco-grade privileged access management solution. And recently we have launched as well an extended detection and response system focused on 5G security assurance. So we actually have a 5G lab that we use to run penetration tests to attack, and then learn how to detect those attacks from the telemetry that we can read from these different sides of the network. So we have a team of security experts that understands the telco part of the network, that understands the security part, that tries to attack and learn from the multiple operators what they have been seeing around, simulate this in a real lab, and then learn how to detect these threats. So in the end, we have a catalog of 5G security incidents that can be provided with our solution. We are integrated with the inventory managers so that we can understand the 5G topology and make the different incidents mapped into the specific instantiated network functions. And that hierarchical service-based architecture topology, it's quite important to have it mapped to the specific incidents so that we understand the big picture of what's going on. I think there is an increased recognition by the industry that security is important. It is a fact that the attacks to operators have been increasing, and they increased significantly last year. There are hacker groups which have been using quite sophisticated techniques and resources. So I think the awareness is increasing, and overall the operators are talking to Nokia and to other security players on how they can, for example, launch their 5G networks on a